The Iranians are moving their focus up to their Caspian seaports in attempts to somewhat extricate themselves or somewhat bypass the blockade currently being experienced that Trump has ordered of the Persian Gulf and all of the Iranian ports. So I guess if we start there with these negotiations, with this ceasefire that's expiration date is rapidly approaching, what do you think the calculus is for Trump? We're getting signaling from the White House that he wants to end this soon, but I'm skeptical of any signaling coming from the White House these days. So what is the calculus from the people that want this conflict to succeed both the United States and Israel towards its maximalist aims right now? What are they thinking?
Trump is in trouble, and he has suffered significant mental decline since last fall, since last August, September. How does that manifest? He has no social filter anymore. He says sort of like whatever comes to mind. He has lost the ability to think logically and rationally. He's become very emotional. He gets angry easily and lashes out. And we saw that as an example, how he went viciously after Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, and Megyn Kelly. That people had been very strong supporters of his. Also, his reaction, over-the-top reaction to Riley Gaines. For people that don't know who Riley is, she's an attractive young lady, a college grad. She is a swimmer, and she became a leading voice against transgender athletes competing, basically men competing against women by claiming that these men were girls, absurdities. Then he attacked the Pope, Pope Leo. And then on top of it, put out a tweet, a Truth Social message portraying himself as some sort of God, Jesus. I mean, he was dressed up like Jesus and seemed to be healing a man who was sick. So, when you put all that together, he engages in what's called confabulation. He will say something that's just an outright lie, but he believes it's true. And because he believes it's true, he doesn't know that it's not, there are people who know that they're, say, hey, are you cheating on your wife? No, I'm not. And you know all along that you're lying. Whereas in this case, he really believes that, like, he stopped 9 wars, as an example. So all of that, we put all that together, and he made a rash decision against the advice of all of his advisors, except for Pete Hegseth, to launch this war against Iran. And now the war is turned sour. It's going badly for the United States, despite all of the claims that the United States is just, whipping ass and taking names, etc. So, he's got a problem. And J.D. Vance tried to help him solve that problem by letting the Pakistanis know that, hey, we do want to talk to Iran. And so Iran came back and said, okay, these are our 10 conditions that must be met for us to negotiate with you. And J.D. Vance accepted those 10 conditions. It was only within 12 hours of that acceptance that all the pressure, all the Zionists started calling Donald Trump and yelling and screaming at him and threatening him. And as a result, he turned away and rejected everything that the Iranians had set forward. Nonetheless, they met, they talked in Islamabad, and then Trump basically, or Susie Wiles, ordered J.D. Vance to come home. And so even without informing the Iranians that they were breaking off talks, they broke off the talks. So this is, Donald Trump desperately needs a win, and he could have a win here, but instead, as we've seen with the Strait of Hormuz, he's taken every conceivable position you could take. First, he said it didn't matter. Closed, open, he didn't care. We don't get anything out of it, which is not true. Then he followed it up by demanding that the Europeans, Europeans, you come open this, or help us open it. That didn't happen. Then, on Easter Sunday, Christian Easter Sunday, a week ago, he had this hysterical outburst, questioning the sexual conduct of their mothers with respect to Iran, and then telling them to open the strait. Well, didn't open. And so they got, it has to be opened. And so then his final act was, okay, we're going to blockade it. Nothing comes out. So, which was it? You want the straight open or you want it shut? So now he's got it shut. That is causing, significant lasting damage to the global economy. And we haven't seen the full weight of it yet. But when it hits, it's likely to push the world into a depression, not just a recession, but a full-blown depression. So, Trump keeps throwing a fit. We thought it was looking today like they might have, reopen and do continue the talks in Islamabad, even though J.D. Vance walked out on it. But it was contingent upon Israel having to declare a ceasefire with Hezbollah declare a ceasefire with Israel, that they stop the fighting. And Iran has said that's a must-have, or there's not going to be talks.